some hopeful news. In just a few weeks, the FDA is expected to approve the first vaccines for COVID-19. At that point, they will immediately be distributed and arrive here in Louisiana. Erica Ferrando tells us what to expect.
In mid-December, the first doses of COVID-19 vaccines will likely be administered in Louisiana.
I have every expectation that sometime around the middle of December, we should receive a number of doses of the Pfizer vaccine first. We don't know how many. It could be as few as 30,000, might be 60,000. We don't know for sure right now.
The FDA will review an application for Pfizer's vaccine December 10th. Moderna is also expected to request an emergency use application soon. Within 24 hours of FDA approval, every state is set to get COVID-19 vaccines.
I believe that everybody thinks it's going to be approved because the data that's been released seems to indicate that the vaccine is not just effective. In fact, it's extraordinarily effective.
LSU Health Infectious Diseases Specialist Dr. Fred Lopez says the vaccines will be limited at first. In Louisiana, Governor Edwards says healthcare workers will be first to receive them. Then high-risk groups and residents in nursing homes or congregate living facilities.
With other companies on board and with distribution occurring from companies that do receive authorization as they ramp up their delivery and then distribution of these vaccines, we'll be seeing more and more, hopefully towards the end of the year.
Oshner participated in Pfizer's vaccine trial and is now gearing up for distribution.
We are prioritizing our healthcare workers by the spring. Summer we'll have more to give to those that are at risk, patients, and then eventually those that are otherwise healthy.
Sometime next year, vaccines are expected to be available for everyone.
In several months, I don't know exactly when, whether it's April, May, or June, but in several months we will have enough of our population, I believe, vaccinated that we can start to put this in our rearview mirror.
Dr. Lopez explains it will be crucial for enough people to get the vaccine in order for the state to return to any sense of normalcy.
It's nice to know that the vaccines look very effective. So if people take them, it should go a long way towards helping us relax restrictions. But if 50% or fewer people decide to get the vaccine, it's going to take longer to get to where we need to be.
Erica Ferrando, Eyewitness News.
Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines come in 2 doses injected a few weeks apart.